Hi everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to the channel. In this video, I am going to show you how you can use MongoDB as your vector store for your RAG pipelines. I will also be describing all of these concepts in as simple language as possible. We will be doing all of it in a Jupyter notebook which will be hosted at Google Colab, and I will also give you the link to that notebook so that you can also follow along. Everything I'm going to use is going to be free, so you don't have to pay for anything. For the large language model, I'm going to use DeepSeek R1's distilled coin model, which I will also show you shortly. Before I get started, let's first try to understand what exactly is MongoDB and what is NoSQL and RAG, because these concepts are quite important if you're looking to use either open source MongoDB or hosted MongoDB as your vector store. MongoDB is an open source document oriented database designed for flexibility, scalability, and ease of use. MongoDB stores data in the form of flexible JSON like documents that allows developers to store complex and dynamically structured data easily without rigid schema constraints, which are quite typical to our RDBMS. MongoDB is also called as NoSQL database, where NoSQL stands for not only SQL. That refers to database systems that offer flexible schema, horizontal scalability, and high performance storage systems which handle large volumes and varied type of unstructured and semi-structured data. Unlike RDBMS, NoSQL databases like MongoDB typically do not rely on fixed schema structure and can scale horizontally through distributed architectures. There are various NoSQL databases out there, but I'm not going to go into that. So this is what MongoDB is. There are two options of using MongoDB. It's an open source, so you can install locally, or you could go with a hosted solution like this MongoDB Atlas, which is a fully managed multi-cloud database as a service, or DBaaS, provided by the creators of MongoDB. If you're looking to use at an enterprise level, you can buy an enterprise plan, but I'm going to just use their free tier, which is more than enough for this demo or for your educational and play around test clusters. So first step, go to cloud.mongodb.com and I will drop the link to it in video's description. Sign up with your free email account. It's a free account, as you can see here. Then you will be presented with this screen. Click on build a cluster, and then you can simply say reset or continue, doesn't matter, because this is the first time I'm doing this. And you can select your free tier as on the right hand side. I'm just going to call it maybe test cluster. You can select your hyperscaler or cloud provider like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure. I'm just going to go with AWS as I am in Sydney, Australia. So I'm just going to select that nearest AWS region. And then you can simply create the deployment by clicking on deployment here. So this takes a bit of a time. So you can just simply close this. You don't really need to worry about this one at this point in time. And once you click on OK, you will be presented with this screen, and here at the top you can see that it is creating your cluster. So let's wait for it to get created. And meanwhile, let me also introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are Camel AI. Camel is an open source community focused on building multi-agent infrastructures for finding the scaling laws of agents, with applications in data generation, task automation, and world simulation. And I will also drop the link to their website in video's description. Now, while it creates this cluster, let me take you to my free Google Colab, which you can access at colab.research.google.com. Click on runtime and then change runtime type to free T4 GPU. And from there, let's install some of the prerequisites, which include PyMongo, which is a MongoDB. We will be using its client. Sentence transformer is for embedding models, and we will be using a dataset from Hugging Face in order to load it. And then we are using the accelerate library. You can of course use whatever data you like. and everything is installed. Next up, let's define this small function which enables us to get our environment securely. We will be using it later on when we set our database connection. Next up, let's grab some sample data from Hugging Face, and I'm just using this MongoDB's own dataset with embedded movies. It has some information about the movies and stuff. So let's wait for it. It's a free dataset, a very small, lightweight dataset. And then let's pre-process this dataset a bit. So in this code, all we are doing, we are removing the data point where plot column is missing, as you can see. And then we are also removing the plot embedding for each data point. And you can see this is the information which it has given. If you want to check out what exactly this data looks like, you can also use this data frame .head, and this is what data is with movie information around genre, directors, writers, and all that stuff. Okay, so the data looks good. Next, as you know, that we are going to use this MongoDB as a vector store. So next up, I'm going to specify the embedding model. Now here, let's try to understand what exactly RAG is and why we are using this MongoDB as a vector store. So what happens is that all of these large language models like DeepSeek, which we are going to use, or any other model, they get trained on a huge amount of data. But that data doesn't know about your own custom or private data, such as your personal information or your company's private data, because that is not part of that model's training set. If you want to provide the context of your own data to these models, you have various choices. Either you just take your data, put it in the prompt, which of course really is impractical because prompts are small. If you have a lot of data, you can't do that, and it's really hard to manage. Other one is you just trained or fine-tune the model from scratch on your own data. That is expensive, time consuming, and the data changes quite frequently. Third option is of RAG, or retrieval augmented generation, where you take your own data, you convert it into numerical representation, you store that numerical representation, which is also called as vector or embedding, in a vector store or embedding store. And then whenever a user asks a query or prompt a model, first that prompt or query of user is matched with your vector store and similar results are returned, and that is how the prompt is then appended with those similar results, and model gets the whole scenario or context with the user prompt appended with your own data, and the model then gives a very grounded contextual answer. So that is why we use RAG, and that is the role of vector store, and that is where we are using this MongoDB as a vector store. There are various other options too, by the way. Now, in order to convert your own documents into numerical representation, you would need an embedding model. There are again heaps of them. For the purpose of this, we are going to use the sentence transformers all mini LM v2 embedding model, and that is what you are looking at in this cell. So let me run that, and then we are converting it into embeddings, as you can see in the last line. So let's wait. So you can see that embeddings have been created. Now we need to store these embeddings in our embedding store or vector store. For that, we already have created this MongoDB in a cluster here at MongoDB Atlas, and you can see that our cluster is ready. So let's click on this connect button. Now here, all you need to do is to just use the standard ones and just click on this drivers here and just keep everything as is. We are just going to use this Python version or whatever. If you want to use any other, you can use, or maybe we'll just go with 3.12 or later. You never know what exactly Google Colab is using. This should be compatible. And then these are the other stuff. So this is the connection string here. You see there is some master user, there is some password and all that stuff. Now you can easily replace the password and username here, but this is a connection string. You need to make sure that you grab and you click on done here. And if you have forgotten your master user's password and if you want to get it, simply click on this database access on the left, and then you can see this is a master user. Just click on edit, And then this is a password, this is a master user, you can edit the password. And then you can either you can just simply, you can't retrieve the old one, so you just have to click on auto generate to create a new password and then scroll down and update user. I already have mine, so I'm not going to do it. And then you can replace that in connection string, and that is all you needed to do in this MongoDB console. Okay, so let me take you to my Colab. Now in your Colab, just simply run the function which we defined earlier. This is going to ask you for our URI. The URI is the connection string which we have just copied from MongoDB Atlas, and our credentials are now set. And then you can also verify your connection by defining this function, which is just using the MongoDB client with PyMongo, and then it is just instantiating the MongoDB Atlas client. And then we are defining a collection. Collection is similar to what we see in tables in RDBMS. In MongoDB, it is called as collection. It just contains your documents or data. And then we are simply running this delete many just to make sure that there is nothing in the collection at the moment. And there you go, you can see that the connection is successful, and it has also made sure there is nothing in it. Okay, next up, let's do the data ingestion or data entry. So we are inserting the data into that collection, and these are simply the records from our movie data, and that is also done. Next up, we need to create an index on this collection for the embeddings. So what we are doing here is we are defining a new field or column called as embedding, and then we are giving it the index name as vector index. So essentially the way it works is it just creates a new field with embedding. It stores all the embedding data of our own data into that field, and then it creates an index on top of it, which is used for fast retrieval. That is simply the same concept as our normal RDBMS databases. So this is a code which does that. So we are simply importing the time, and then this is a PyMongo client. This is where it is creating a new vector search engine. By the way, you can also create it in Atlas if you like. And this is where new index is being created on top of that column or field. And this is where we are defining it with the parameters which we defined above. And this is the dimensions of those vector which is going to store those embeddings, and we are simply setting it up. So let's wait. And this takes a bit of a time, of course, and if you want to see what is happening, you can also go there. You can see it is showing you how much data is coming in and out. The observability is quite nice in MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so let's go back. The index has been created. And then next up, we are defining this vector search function which searches the MongoDB collection, as you can see. And these are all the stuff which is going to search. And this is the pipeline which it searches in the collection. And in order to see it in action, all you need to do is to just simply, for example, call it with a query that I'm asking it what are some of the interesting action movies to watch that include business. And then we are getting that knowledge after doing the vector search here. We are getting the data frame, and we are printing the top results here, because if you see here, we also have defined the top K, which just does a nucleus search from the top 5 or 4 results. Okay, so let's run it. And there you go. So it has returned us this result that these are the titles for include business. For example, if you want to say which include love, you can run it. These are the love ones. And you can, of course, so this is only returning the similarity one. So if you remember what I told you about that RAG and all that pipeline, that is what is happening here. So but the LLM is not in the picture yet. We are just doing the retrieval by doing the similarity search by using that vector store. Now for the RAG pipeline, for the model part, you can use any model. For example, you can download this Hugging Face repo of DeepSeek R1 distilled Quen, and you can use any other model. It is going to download the model and tokenizer from Hugging Face website. It is just a very small model of under 4 gig. So let's wait, and that should be easily fit onto our free GPU. And if you want to learn more about these DeepSeek models, just search my channel. I have done like dozens of videos on this very model. And the model is downloaded, and this is the architecture of the model. Next up, let's define a RAG query. So this primarily doing the same thing, but with it is just returning the similar results, and then it is using the model to generate the output. As you can see here, it also moves this input or whatever has been returned by the RAG pipeline after converting it into numerical representations. And now let's run this function. And I'm just going to ask it what is a romantic movie that I can watch with my wife. Make your response concise. So it is running it as it's a reasoning model, so should be fun to watch. Now what model is doing, it is using its own pre-trained data, its own data set, and then it is using our own data which we have provided in terms of in vector store. And so it has given us a very grounded answer. So there you go. So it has suggested us some movies around Shanghai Express and all that stuff, and then it has also given us this response. So now this bit and a lot of other things which related to movies might not be part of the data set which we downloaded. This is coming from model. So this is what I was saying. So model has combined its own knowledge, its own intelligence with our own data, and has provided us this very contextually rich grounded result. So that is how RAG works. That is how you can use this MongoDB as a vector store. As I said, I will drop the link to the notebook in video's description. Play around with it. Let me know what do you think. If you are interested in learning more about RAG, other vector stores, just search my channel. You will find heaps of videos around it. I hope this was useful. If it was, please like the video, share the channel and video. I'll be very obliged. And if you are not subscribed yet, please also subscribe. Thank you very much for all the support.